And now we'd like to pass it off to our very own Jaden Berkey for today's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now finally, down to Gordon Berkey for the four most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Live tonight, and that was the opening presentation from Cora here, Memorial Day weekend, honoring our veterans, coming this Monday and all weekend long with the Cora series. Just finishing up qualifying, getting the cars rolled out here on the board. Ted, it looks like Bruce Bouchard is going to start out there on the pole, and a strong competitor every weekend.
Yeah, every week, and it seems that Bruce's name will always be up there at the top. Other names that are up there that we see is Dale Smalley. He's no enemy of being up front. Dallas Miracle, another person that we usually see up front there. So it looks like it's the same as last week, where we have a lot of big guys up there. Some new people who we have not seen out on the track is the likes of Brad Patterson and Colton Burke.
Yeah, Ted, taking the grid, so let's give him a little bit of the rundown here. Starting on the pole tonight, as we said, Bruce R. Bouchard, just outside your top 10 in points, looking to get in there this week. Starting on the outside of him, the 69 of Dale Smalley.
Right behind them in row number 2, starting third, is Dallas Miracle in the number 48 machine, and right beside him in number 44 is Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah, starting fifth in the third row, number 99, Garrett Denton, and on the outside of him, the 40 of David Wink.
Starting in 7th, the number 77 of Jeff Cruz, and right beside him in number 17, Gordon Berkey.
Starting 9th, the 00, James Brown, and right on the outside of him, the number 27, your points leader, Mark Lloyd, is starting halfway back in the pack tonight, so got himself some work to do.
Starting 11th in the number 66, Verlis Falcons, and right beside him in the number 28, Brad Patterson.
13th, you got Gary Boyer, and on the outside of him, number 81 of Colton Berkey.
Starting 15th, the number 24, Alan Larson, and starting 16th, right beside him in the number 62, Michael D'Amico.
17th, you got the number 4 of Alan Starring, and 18th, the number 22 of Ralph Shipman.
Starting 19th, the number 71 of Vincent Vinny, and 20th in the number 4, Kevin Van.
Rounding out your field tonight, 21st, you have Mark Arthur, 22nd, Jonathan Smith, and choosing not to qualify. Actually, the 01 Jonathan Smith chose not to qualify along with Terry Hurley, who will both start at the rear of the pack.
Yeah, and the cars now are beginning to roll off with that pace car right in front of them, and so we are about to be underway here at Michigan International Speedway. And Matt, I'm pretty excited to get this underway. These cars go very fast, 220 miles an hour. These cars were topping out at earlier during practice, and so we have nothing but pure faith that this is going to be a fast-paced, exciting race for all the viewers out there.
The sensitive car is running 33-second laps around here, sometimes even able to dip down to the 32 when they pull the old slingshot move. Definitely the draft here is going to cause some downforce trouble entering and exiting the turns, along with having it to get that slingshot down the straightaway, so it's going to be a love-hate relationship all night long.
Yeah, and we'd like to make a quick mention here at ETV Live that we hope everybody watching is having a very happy Memorial Day weekend, and we'd like to thank all the veterans, both among the living and both those who sacrificed their life to give us the freedoms that we have today in the United States of America. Thank you very much.
And they're entering turn 3, lights off on the pace car, letting us know he will pull down this time. These cars lined up side by side, ready to get the show going on for you guys. Remember, Cora Series qualifying 3 nights a week, racing for money at the end of every week and a grand prize at the end of the season. Well over $100 we're being told this year. So, as these drivers get their hearts revved up, waiting for that pace car to pull off.
Yeah, that pace car, he's coming up and pulls right down into the pit. We're ready to go here at Michigan International Speedway as the engines start revving up and they start heading out. Green flag out on the speedway and getting a big boost in the number 11. Bruce Bouchard jumps out into the lead for an early lead off into 1.
Definitely a flat foot track, Ted, unless you're really sucked up into somebody's draft all the way around here, but you can't quite bump, so seeing that car so close behind the 11 is really scary.
Yeah, these cars are very fragile, and when you go and you bump each other, it's nothing like the stock cars where you can bump draft going into turns, let alone going down onto a front stretch. So him being that close to that car, maybe he's still in Sprint Cup mode from last week at Talladega, but he sure is giving him a little run on his rear end there as they head off into turn 1 once again. Bruce Bouchard leading the first lap here at Michigan International Speedway for this race.
Yeah, it would appear that in second place, that 48 of Dallas Markle has a lot of experience in these cars, knowing exactly how close he can get, as we see him inches, literally inches off of Bruce Bouchard's bumper as he slides up a little bit there, coming to the front stretch.
And making a run down there on the bottom, they're now 2 wide, is the number 69 of Dale Smalley alongside with the number, it looks like 99 of Garrett Denton, who now takes 3rd place and drops in right behind the number 48 of Dallas Miracle as they head off onto the backstretch. Bruce Bouchard still leading the pack, but how much longer can he lead this pack with Dallas Miracle all on his rear end?
Yeah, you got I believe that's the 44 of Kevin McCarthy going by Dale Smalley, along bringing the 77 of Jeff Cruz. That would break 4th place for Kevin McCarthy and push Dale Smalley right back to 6th.
And he moves on back down, yes, like you said, 2-6, but looking back, still leading the pack, Bruce Bouchard, but now making a run down on the low side. The number 48 of Dallas Miracle being pushed by the number 44 of Kevin McCarthy. It looks like he's running a nice little veterans paint scheme tonight, but so now Dallas Miracle, but he goes up and almost touches the number 11 of Bruce Bouchard. That could have been dangerous, Matt.
Yeah, Ted, and that's that downforce problem. Talking about the love-hate. He had that draft, but just taking so much air off the nose in these cars and give him that front wheel grip, and he started sliding right up.
And that could have spelled disaster for both those 2 drivers and the rest of the pack, whoever was fortunate or less fortunate to get into that wreck. But Dallas Miracle and his number 48 taking the lead away from Bruce Bouchard as he heads off into turn 3 and 4. Bruce Bouchard and his number 11 is now falling a little bit back. The number 99 of Garrett Denton leaving the draft and moving down with that bottom line as Bruce Bouchard and that number 11 is hanging out the dry.
In the safe area, Ted, 22nd, 23rd, the 00 James Brown, and 18 Gary Boyer. I think they have the right idea. They're 16 seconds back. They gained a little bit of time that lap even from their drafting, but they're just back here in the safe zone, saving their cars for the closing laps.
Yeah, and splitting our boy Bruce Bouchard. They went 3 wide going down the backstretch. That could have spelled danger, but now up in the lead, taking the lead away maybe from the number 48 of Dallas Miracle is the number 44 of Kevin McCarthy as he pushes deep into 1 with, it looks like, the number 77 of Jeff Cruz right behind him.
Miracle led that last lap by 4 thousandths of a second, so Kevin McCarthy is still trying to lead his first lap of the night here.
And these boys are running at 221 miles an hour as they go off into that turn. Breakneck speeds here, something we're not used to when you look at the comparison between this car and the Sprint Cup car, the Gen 6, and so it's something that viewers have to get used to. But running the Sunday Money Series, they run a multitude of different cars, so don't get too used to one. But up in front, Kevin McCarthy and that number 44 being pushed by the number 77 of Jeff Cruz down the backstretch. Dallas Miracle, though, and that number 48 is still holding on to that top line. He has a very strong car as they head off of turn 4 and into the front stretch.
These cars, due to the speed, guys, can't make it as far on tanks of gas. Look for pitting to happen between laps 25 and 35. Most likely as we coming down to lap 9. As they almost touch into turn 1 for the lead, the 44 Kevin McCarthy will hold on. The 77 Jeff Cruz way to the outside.
Yeah, it looks like Jeff Cruz got a little love tap there and said, whoa, hey, man, you can take it. I don't want any part of this, because to wreck this early, you'll be out for the count. These cars, like I said earlier, are very, very fragile to the touch, and any small movement can get these guys knocked out, which kind of attests for these for the car handling that these drivers can do, how professional they are with being able to hold on to their cars as they do end up touching. But Jeff Cruz getting a little bit of a bump, moving way up high as he'll fall back a couple of spots.
Gloy started all the way back in 10th, now breaking the top 5. That's your points leader in the 27. They're carrying on the inside line right now, just trying to work his way up to 4th past the 77 of Jeff Cruz.
And he is doing a very good job just holding on, as he might in the next couple laps make a move on the number 99 of Garrett Denton, who sits in 3rd place. And there he goes, Mark Lloyd jumping down to the bottom as they head off into the turn. Will try to take this position away from the number 99 of Garrett Denton, but Garrett Denton has a very fast car and he'll hold on as he pulls away, and Mark Lloyd jumps back in the line.
Trying to keep these things wound up the high side. You see these guys are on the very bottom of the track going all the way through the turn, and that gives them the run down the straightaway as the 99 is catching right back up to the 48 of Dallas Markle.
He is. Those two cars, the number 48 of Dallas Miracle and the number 99 of Garrett Denton, are really fast, strong cars. And whoa, getting a little bit of loose, heading off into the turn is the number 48 of Dallas Miracle as he falls a little bit back, giving Garrett Denton the open road to try to take and fight for the lead off the number 44 of Kevin McCarthy as they head into turn 3, going into turn 4, but the number 99 of Garrett Denton will hold off and jump back into line 2nd place.
Cruz went from 1st to 8th. He continued to fall back slowly over these past few laps here, and possibly a little bit of damage on that car from getting in all those tangos up front.
Yes, Jeff Cruz will fall back in his number 17 car, I believe. Oh no, his not his number 17, his number 77. Jeff Cruz falls back, jumps back in the line though, back in the 8th position as he will try to work his way back up to the front. But speaking of the front, the number 44 of Kevin McCarthy, as I head off onto the first turn, still holds on to the lead.
Yeah, smoke up on the front stretch. The 27 Mark Loy hits the dirt a little bit coming down the front as he's trying to pick up 2nd place from the 99. There's a car down in the dirt in turn 1. Let's go see if we can't figure out who that was.
Yeah, looking back to see exactly who that is in the grass, it seems he was already in the grass when these boys were coming around in their cars. And so as we try to find who that person is off in the grass, it looks like a black and green car. That is the Terry Hurley in the number 6. And I think we might see what happened there, Matt.
Yeah, still continuing on green, even though unfortunate incidents occurred for the number 6. Kevin McCarthy able to keep the lead. As I'm looking at this, it looks like the 6 just gets loose off of 4 and takes it for a wild ride through the grass, but able to hold on to it.
And the number 6 of Terry Hurley looking live is still running through the grass down there on the bottom. Race officials asking him to please get off the track, but he's just running in the grass along the side right now currently.
No yellow flag yet for that car, but the 44, Kevin McCarthy, holding strong out front. being followed by the 27 of Mark Loy, who's picked up 3 positions in this past lap, and about to be passed back by Dallas Markle as they almost touch, and the 27 Mark Loy had to move up.
Yeah, he had to move up. He did not want any part of that as they go 2 by 2 down and now open up, still too wide between Dallas Miracle and his number 48 machine as they are pushing forward through into turn 1. No caution yet out on the speedway.
Back in the pack, 14th through 20th having a hard-fought battle here. Kevin Vaughn leading this pack, it looks like. Side-by-side action from Kevin Vaughn to Brad Patterson to Vincent Vinny. Just battling out here. These guys gotta shape up, probably get in a line if they want to start gaining any time towards the lead.
Yeah, Vincent Vinny looking down the low side of Michael D'Amico as they head off. Lap 18 out of 125 laps here at Michigan International Speedway. Our leader Kevin McCarthy in the number 44 still as he races down into turn 3, but looking up high, and that number 99 is Garrett Denton, once again not able to make the move just yet. But look who is sitting in second place, Jeff Cruz, who was sitting back in 8th place only 2 laps ago, now fighting for the lead.
You got Kevin McCarthy, you're a leader. As we approach lap 19, we're going to step away here for a moment on ETV Live. You're here with the Cora Championship Online Racing Association. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Back live here with the Championship Online Racing Association. 10th place through 15th, just starting to catch your lead pack. It's Colton Berkey that led them all the way up there, with all the way up to Bruce R. Bouchard. So it's only about a second difference between your leader and 10th place, and that's a lot of cars in a tight spot, Ted.
Yeah, that sure is, and looking back in the number 11th spot, just out of a top 10, is Colton Berkey. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a, maybe he has some relation to Gordon Berkey, I don't know, but he's sitting back in the 11th spot, and he's fighting his way up as that backpack certainly fought their way up to catch that front car. Like you said, all of them all the way down to 12th place, sitting only a second behind the leader, and so all those cars bunched up could lead to some exciting racing, but at the same time could lead to a couple of wrecks.
Mark Arthur, Kevin Vaughn, Brad Pedersen, number 10, 4, and 28, all in a line here, trying to catch back up to the 12th place car, and trailing behind them with no draft, 71 of Vincent Vinny and 22 of Ralph Shipman. And here's another track, it's like a super speedway for these Dallara Indy cars. If you don't have any draft, you're in a world of trouble.
Yeah, if you cannot possibly catch that draft, then you're gonna fall back pretty quick. But looking back, those 3 cars that are running together, the number 10 of Mike Arthur, the number 4 of Kevin Vaughn, the number 28 of Brad Patterson, they're working very well together, and they possibly will start catching up with that lead pack and get out. But right now they're looking at 4 seconds behind the leader currently right now. Speaking of leader, the number 44, Kevin McCarthy, up at the front. A lot of dipping and diving as they go 3 wide into onto the tri-oval.
3 wide. Scary seeing this series. Gordon Berkey, we're hearing, had some contact in that situation right there. So when you're that middle car in these things, they just start to shake, and it just wants to go where it wants to go. You don't have much control. They almost go 3 wide again. That's Jeff Cruz pushing it for the middle.
Yeah, it's now starting to jump up to another notch here. Jeff Cruz is pushing through, trying to get up, but he gets knocked up to the high side, and he is now out of the draft. No one to work with, but still sticking with that main group as he drops down and is able to get, but he's still working up high. That's kind of the second or third time Jeff Cruz has been knocked out of that main pack, as he's still trying to work his way up there and try to jump in with somebody to move up.
On board with Cruz, he's made some crazy moves. Right behind him, you got Alan Larson breaking the top 10 for the first time this evening. Jeff Cruz was out front at one point, struggled a little bit here later on in the race, and that's just a little bit of the handling in that race car he's trying to deal with.
Yeah, and he's just getting used to the track probably, and he'll jump back up there in no time. But looking up back at the leader, Kevin McCarthy, still with a good lead. He's been leading most of the laps tonight. Mark Lloyd giving a little run for his money as he gets a good run and jumps to the outside of him into the turn and maybe see if he can do anything for it. But Kevin McCarthy, very strong car. Now the number 17, Gordon Berkey, trying to make, whoa, he gets a little bit of loose and jumps up. These boys are dicing, man.
And I saw a car shoot down there for pit road. He's still in the grass. That's Garrett Denton trying to hold on to it as he does, coming down the front stretch. No caution out. Garrett Denton's going to be all the way back to about 15th place.
The number 99 of Garrett Denton getting loose and going into the grass, but great driving skills on his part as he held on to it and did not bring out a caution here at Michigan, which is a good thing for these leaders and maybe even a good thing for the number 17 of Gordon Berkey, as Gordon Berkey worked his way up from starting all the way back in 8th place, dropped back a little bit, and now is all the way up in 3rd place and fighting for the lead. And we are just getting word that Colton Berkey, Gordon Berkey's son, is the driver of the other machine out there that we are looking at, and so he's in 8th place right now, and he's running pretty good. And maybe by the end of tonight, I don't want to kind of give anything away or maybe jinx it, but maybe we can see a father-son dash for the finish, Matt.
Yeah. Just going back to the last lap real quick, Ted, the 99 actually got into that front left wheel of Dallas Markle. That's what sent him around towards the inside pit wall there. And he touches the car again. Dallas Markle into the outside wall. Just stuck up there. No caution yet as he's trying to get off the racing surface and allow this to keep green.
Wow, I mean, that could have been very bad as he almost comes up into the other cars that were moving around, but that could have been very bad for the rest of the field. But Dallas Markle rode the wall, moved around, and is now ducking his IndyCar down onto pit road to try to get the damage fixed on his number 48 machine.
Yeah, and that was number 17 of Gordon Berkey that he got into. And Ted, that could be a little bit of a handling. That could have been a little bit from a cause of a handling problem from the contact earlier I was talking about with the 99. Out front though right now with a 2/10 of a second lead, Kevin McCarthy catching up a little bit. Just noticing you got the 11 of Garrett Denton leading with the number 10 of Mark Arthur and Kevin Vaughn right now. They're 3.5 seconds back, but trying to close up quickly.
Yeah, Garrett Denton sure did drop in with 2 teammates down there as they'll start pushing their way up to the front and trying to make him move up there and get back up to the front. Garrett Denton obviously had a fast car earlier today in the race. We don't know if the contact from earlier could have hindered his performance, but he sits back in the 12th position, just out of a top 10, as he will try to make his way up there, like we said, with Kevin Vaughn and Brad Patterson.
Lap 33, as we talked about earlier, it's about like a little over 35 laps on fuel and tires here if you can stay in the draft. So green flag pit stops coming your way any second now.
Yeah, and that'll open up a whole new dynamic to this race, and it will open up a lot of chances for those to start thinking about how pit strategies are going to come into play later on in this race, because you have to remember we are racing 125 laps now, and so a green flag stop on lap 36, 37, 38. They're obviously going to have to make one more stop, and so it'll be pretty interesting to see exactly what we will see. But up in front, Mark Loy making a little bit of contact with Kevin McCarthy and kind of dicing his wheel a little bit, but he held on to it and still sticks with it. But once again, almost another wreck up there at the front.
Picked up about 2 seconds from where they started this race, still in the safe zone way back where I'm saying. 15 seconds back, James Brown, Gary Bauer still working together back here, Ted. And they've actually been gaining time all race long, or pretty much staying stalemate for most laps.
Yeah, and as they move up through the pack, they'll start. I mean, they have to think to themselves, hey, maybe we can come in early. Pit strategy not only is for the top guys that are up in the front, but I mean every driver has to think about it. These guys could be coming in before the leaders, get a good pit stop in, dice out, and then all of a sudden the lead lap guys jump in, and all of a sudden they're looking at a top 5 racing. But right now, Gary Bauer and James Brown sitting back there in that 19th and 20th position on the front stretch, still trying to make their way up. We have a lot of laps to go, so don't count out anybody.
Yeah, don't count out anybody. Helping these drivers possibly get through tonight's race could be the simulation racing cockpit designed by Bob Earl. It's a simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl. Who better than a real race car driver to design a simulation racing cockpit? You can go purchase one of these nice babies for $349 plus shipping at bobearlracing.com. So it's a great gift for one of your kids if they're here on iRacing, or even yourself if you have a little of the extra cash. Just a more comfortable way to race and get yourself to a win.
Looking up in front, back live here at Michigan International Speedway, Mark Lloyd getting into the back of Kevin McCarthy, but they both held on to it. But that could have been very bad for that lead pack, which spans about 7 cars, all the way from Kevin McCarthy sitting in first to Alan Starling in his number 14 machine in 7th place. But looking back in the 8th and 9th positions is the number 81 of Colton Berkey and the number 77 of Jeff Cruz, as they are trying to make their way back up to the front of the pack. Jeff Cruz, who we had been talking about earlier, has always been up at the front of the pack. We had a little bit of trouble earlier on, fall back a little bit, but Colton Berkey now making a heavy run along with Jeff Cruz to get back up there, and they're gaining some ground, Matt.
Yeah, definitely trying to gain the ground here. It's easy to do if you can get these guys out of line and you can keep yourself in a pretty solid line. Back there, 11th place on back, it's about a 5-car line going on right now. That's definitely going to help them pick up the speed.
It certainly will, as back up in front, your leader, Kevin McCarthy, still holding on to that top spot. We're on lap 40 of 125, Matt, and you got to be thinking
and
to yourself.
Ted, Mark Loy is around. To interrupt you real quick, 2nd place driver coming past the stripe last time by, got into your leader, Kevin McCarthy, and just sent him into the outside wall in turn 3 and put that vehicle right around.
Yeah, looking at this wreck as they were heading down onto the backstretch, it would seem that he made a little bit of contact with up top, bounced a little bit more, and just moved up into the wall. Tried to hold on to it for as long as possible, but wow, that Indy car just spun itself. I mean, I don't know if all of a sudden something broke on the chassis, but it just took a hard, sharp right turn into the wall as he got it back spinning around and limping back to pit road.
Yeah, he's trying to get it around. He didn't want to go down when pit road was closed. But it looks like he's not even able to do that as he just spun it around again on the front straightaway. So a struggling car there. This is the first caution of the night, Ted. You got to imagine that everybody's going to come down, fill her up, and put 4 fresh rubbers on. that car. In a pit stop here, guys, it takes about all of 5 seconds.
Yeah, as your leader, Kevin McCarthy, now drops down onto pit road along with the majority of the field, actually almost all of the field, and all of the field. They come down here onto pit road, jump into their pit stall. Like you said, it's going to be about 5 seconds and out, so we'll see exactly who is going to be leading as they come out. But Kevin McCarthy, our leader, drops into his stall. He pops up, and it looks like they'll be changing a couple of tires out there, maybe even 4 tires. They drop back down, get some gas, and he will be out and underway. Once again, our leader, he'll be first one in and first one out. Someone who did stay out on the track, though, it looks like up ahead, that is the Verlis Falcons in the number 66, who was 2 laps down. He stayed out on the track, and so
And it looks like as we come back out on the track, Alan Starring picking up a few pit stops with picking up a couple spots here with a 14.7 pit stop. Again, that's 14. Alan Starring. It looks like under this caution, Dallas Markle is going to be our lucky dog. He's the first camera lap down, so definitely helping out with him, who got a little bit of damage earlier on in the race.
And it looks like they fixed the fin to that number 48 machine, and so he'll have a lot easier, a lot easier time trying to make his way back around. But as we're under caution here at Michigan International Speedway, we'll be right back after these commercial breaks for Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series. Stay with us.
I know, I was in like the middle of my...
Plus other listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even all that unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
Back live, Cora here tonight, running 125 laps, 43 in the book. Kevin McCarthy's still out front, Ted.
Yeah, Kevin McCarthy's still out front as Dallas Miracle gets his wave around and comes back around, sitting currently now showed in the 20th position. And so he'll have to make his way back up as we are getting double file for a restart here at Michigan International Speedway. Lights off on the pace car. We are going green this time by. Your top 5 are Kevin McCarthy at number 44, Alan Larson, David Wank, Dale Smalley, Gordon Berkey. That is your top 5. And a couple of names that we haven't really talked about too much tonight, Matt, is David Wank, who was, I think, the last car last week to finish on the lead lap in about 7th place, I'd say, at Talladega.
On all on all these cars, just getting very touchy lately, Ted, and some getting loose and some getting really close to each other. I think these drivers are starting to get a little too confident in tonight's race.
Yeah, and they got to kind of say to themselves, and I mean, it almost happens every single race that we have here with the Cora series, is they start getting a little amped up, their adrenaline starts flowing as the laps start winding up, and they get used to this track, and they stop forgetting that they're not invincible. And so, as the pace car comes around and ducks off on the pit lane, we'll be going back to green, and lights back up on the pace car as an extra caution has been thrown out on the speedway. We'll be going around perhaps one more time here at Michigan International Speedway. Matt.
Yeah, extra caution out on the track, so we'll do another pace lap here before we get going, just to get a little things figured out through the field, Ted. So top 4 right now, 44 Kevin McCarthy, 24 of Alan Larson, working his way up into the top 5 for the first time tonight after that wreck. You got the 40 David Wank and 69 Dale Smalley and 17 of Gordon Berkey rounding out your top 5.
Yep, Gordon Berkey looking very good. 2 cars back from him, sitting in 7th place. That number 81 of his son, Colton Berkey, a father-son duo. And perhaps at the end, they'll have to decide if that blood is thicker. And as the laps start winding down, they have to realize that when that last lap flag drops, that white flag, if they're going to work together as father and son, or if one of them's going to try to take the lead from the other. And so, I mean, we have a lot of different plot lines that can jump out here, a lot of different storylines that might get a little bit exciting as we head off into turn 3, and hopefully we'll get this race back underway.
So as we're sitting with Kevin McCarthy, Alan Larson starting out, coming to the pace car, about to pull off and get this thing back underway for the next 80 laps we'll have remaining when that green flag drops and they cross the line.
That pace car making its sharp left turn down onto pit road. The engine's firing as the green flag is up in the air and waving here at Michigan International Speedway. We're on board with Alan Larson as he's in 2nd place, trying to get a good run on Kevin McCarthy, number 44. They almost touched heading into 1.
Yeah, down into 1, 24 stuck on that high side. Will lose the time because of the distance around the outside, but end up with a little bit of a run down the backstretch.
Yes, he gets a hard run on Kevin McCarthy, and he'll jump back to the outside. Whoa, ducks down onto the inside once again. David Wank in that 40, kind of tapping on his brake a little bit or letting off the gas, like, whoa, hey, what's going on, you know? And whoa, he's down into the grass twice. 2 times, both Kevin McCarthy and Alan Larson drop down into the grass, but they hold on to their positions as things are getting very dicey right behind our leader, Matt.
Number 4, Kevin Vaughn, works his way into the top 10 for the first time tonight. Struggling in that second pack all race long. Same thing, you got James Brown. He was 17 seconds behind. This is a break for him as he's trying to work his way up towards the top 10.
Looking back, Garrett Denton lost a lot of ground in that number 99 machine as he was sitting in 3rd place last lap and is now ringing in at 8th position and still falling back. Maybe he saw something that he didn't like. Maybe he thought they were going to wreck and had to drop out of the gas and move back a little bit, but he'll fall back to that number 11, our pole sitter, Bruce Bouchard, as he will jump up to the outside and keep moving. But Garrett Denton falling back still in that number 99, and if he doesn't stop now, he might lose his draft, but he starts catching up again, Matt.
27 of Mark Lloyd down, but not out. He's in the backup car. As they allow in this series, they allow at least 2 backups to be down there in the pits. So Mark Lloyd, yeah, 2 laps down because he had to pull a toe out, but he's not giving up for the night.
No, and even though he's negative 2 laps, he's 2 laps down, that you still can't count him out. That backup car has the same exact setup that his main car had, and so he had a very fast car. He was running in 2nd place when that incident ended up happening, and so it's perfectly doable to get back up there as he is gaining gaining positions on cars who are a lap ahead of him, and he's sitting 2 laps down in that 22nd position. So the number 27 of Mark Galloy in a backup car, down but certainly not out, as coming back from -2 can always help him. But we have a car up top into the wall, Matt.
Yeah, we hear the 40 car had contact, sent him up into the wall, and that's been the same story all night. So number 40, David Wink, he got a little bit of a love tap there, and it gave him what would seem like a flat tire to most people, just shot him right up towards the wall.
And he took a very hard hit up into that outside retaining wall after taking contact from the car right beside him. That's the number 10 of Mark Arthur. Mark Arthur trying to make it 3 wide, heading off into 1, tapping into the left rear quarter panel of that Air Force machine, sending him up into the wall hard. And it looks like David Wank might have to go to a backup car, Matt.
Yeah, he just pulled down on the backstretch and got the old tow truck out. No caution here, though. Hard battle up front as Kevin McCarthy trying to hold on. Now Jeff Cruz giving him a run for his money on the outside.
And Jeff Cruz gives him a run for his money, and that money will pay out as he gets that front position. But that touch, it heads up into the wall. Jeff Cruz into the wall hard after making hard contact with Kevin McCarthy.
Number 28 sends the 77 for an E-ticket ride. He's rolling, still rolling down the backstretch, just trying to get that car sorted out. He's going to have a long head spin after that.
Man, he took that car. He made a great run, slammed into the wall, and then got a lot more help by the number 28 rather, as he got a huge love tap by Brad Patterson, and he took that car for a heavy spin down that backstretch. So from first to last, him into a backup car, Jeff Cruz getting hard contact by our then leader Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah, hard contact. That 77 definitely having to go to a backup. No other cars seem to have gotten damage from the wreck and be able to clear it without hitting the wall. But man, oh man, Ted, what a wild ride that he just took.
And I reckon that that Cruz isn't going to be too happy with Kevin McCarthy. And like I said about Mark Galloy, that Jeff Cruz and Mark Galloy having something in common, they had very fast cars, and so they'll easily be able to make their way back up there on their tow car, on their second car. So Matt, they're down but certainly not out, as we are on lap 53 of 125 here at Michigan International Speedway.
And I guess Ted's not going to say it this weekend like he normally does, but we got to say it here on ETV Live. The cautions, they're going to breed cautions.
Yes, my catchphrase, yeah. Cautions breed cautions, but as we are out on caution here at Michigan International Speedway, we're going to step away, but stick with us here on ETV Live for the Cora Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. Created specifically for iRacing's online racing simulation game, Trading Paints provides individual racers, leagues, and painters an opportunity to share their custom designed paint schemes with other subscribers on the iRacing.com simulation service. Part of the fun of today's simulation racing games is showing off your high quality work with a custom painted car or truck. TradingPaints.com lists thousands of custom painted cars and trucks available for download by simply creating an account and logging in. With all available templates at your fingertips, a simple desktop downloader will keep you up to date with the most recent custom painted vehicles and templates. Check it out today. TradingPaints.com.
We are back here at Michigan International Speedway. We are still under caution, but a quick mention, Berkey Painting and Sandblasting. Gordon Berkey, who is one of the racers here for the Championship Online Racing Association. He puts on this race. He's a good sponsor of this race. And him, along with his son Colton tonight, is racing out there. So we'd like to give a quick shout out to Gordon Berkey and his son Colton Berkey. Remember, Berkey Painting and Sandblasting. That's his deal. So we're back here, Michigan International Speedway, lap 55 out of 125, still under caution here as the lights are still out on the pace car. ETV Live bringing you this broadcast. ETV Live, the only choice in simulation auto racing broadcasting. Since 2008, ETV Live has produced over 700 shows for over 220,000 viewers. ETV Live has pioneered and engineered some of the best innovations in online auto sports broadcasting. With 3 pricing packages available, book yours today. You will not regret it. The industry experts, ETV Live, it's the only choice. Contact them at www.etvlive-eplay.net or etvlive at etv-eplay.net.
Back here on the track, Ted, Alan Larson out front, Gordon Berkey, Kevin Vaughn, Colton Berkey. So both Berkeys up in the top 5 right now, Ted, looking for the win tonight.
Right behind them, Gordon Berkey and Colton Berkey back to back as they head down that backstretch. So very exciting here as a father-son mix-up could be in the mix as they head down with 10 laps to go, 1 lap to go, what have you. But we're only on lap 56 of 125.
Yeah, laps are out on the pace car on lap 56, getting ready with a while to go here still, 70 laps to go. As they're all lined up side by side, 19 cars still left on the lead lap. Verilis Falcons, you took your waiver or your lucky dog this time. Excuse me. So he'll be starting at the tail end as the last car on the lead lap.
Someone to mention earlier on in this race around lap 10 was Terry Hurley in his bright green machine. He's 39 laps down right now, and he has gotten a word up to the officials. He will not be off the pace anymore. He will be out of the race as he took his vehicle behind the wall. But lights off on the pace car. We come around, and we're about to go green here at Michigan International Speedway. That pace car takes its hard left turn onto pit road. That green flag is about to raise in the air. It does, and it is waving as we're green flag racing here at Michigan International Speedway once again. Gordon Berkey getting a huge run on that outside, being pushed by his son Colton Berkey, but Alan Larson wants none of that as they head into 1.
Larson holding strong on the bottom, slides up front. Berkey looking to the inside, coming through too as they head down the backstretch. Excuse me, that is Gordon Berkey, followed by Colton Berkey. We gotta guess use some little names, car numbers here for you guys. So it is Gordon Berkey leading Colton Berkey, Alan Larson out front, and right behind them, Jonathan Smith, the guy at one point in this race who was 17 seconds behind.
Yeah, Jonathan Smith in that 0-1 car sitting in 4th place, someone we have not talked about too much today. He's sitting up there comfortably in a top 5 position, and he's up there racing along with the Berkeys and our leader, Alan Larson, currently up in front. But looking back in the pack, there is a huge race. Garrett Denton in that number 99 stuck in the middle there, along with Vincent Vinny, Michael D'Amico, Dale Smalley, Alan Staring, just to name a few, as that's a main pack up there in the back, Matt.
Yeah, it looks like Dallas Markle trying to push it 3 wide on the outside, a little bit farther back from them with Gary Bauer and Alan Starring going into 1. They're just side by side racing back in the pack here, and that's only about a second. And in this series, a second is huge when we mean 220 miles an hour at the end of these straightaways and only going down to 215 in the turns. These cars are hauling the mail.
Yeah, they're going 212 miles an hour through those turns, 220 on the front stretch and back stretch. These guys are going dang fast, Matt, as they come flying around into turn 1 and 2, heading off. We're on lap 60 out of 125. Garrett Denton making him, whoa, Garrett Denton in that number 99 almost touching Vincent Vinny in that 71 as he'll fall back going 3 wide and will fall back a little bit more, Matt.
Yeah, looking right up front, you got Vincent Vinny leading that pack, coming up to what I believe is a lap car right in front of him that they're going to be catching here. So he's in no man's land, and they'll blow right on by him as they go into 1, it looks like.
But back up in front, let's not forget about our leader. Alan Larson still up in front with Gordon Berkey working his rear. He will jump up high and try to take the lead here going into 3 and 4. Gordon Berkey trying to get that side draft off of him, getting very close to touching his son Colton right behind him, pushing as they head off into 4. They will break away and they will go down the front stretch. Alan Larson will complete this lap as the leader.
Yeah, Colton on the inside, Gordon on the outside. It looks like Colton Berkey's going to go by Gordon and try and himself to take the lead from Alan Larson. Right behind him, though, almost touching, you got Jonathan Smith fighting Bruce R. Bouchard. Also having a strong run here tonight as he fell back, bringing Kevin Vaughn along with him on the bottom.
Yeah, and that the pack right behind the leaders, starting with Colton Berkey, is looking very fishy as they're getting very close together, heading off into the turns and onto the backstretch. But Colton Berkey getting a nice little lead out from Bruce Bouchard, who was our pole sitter earlier today. Other honorable mentions right behind them as they go 3 wide behind them. Kevin Vaughn, Jonathan Smith, and James Brown heading off into the turn and onto the front stretch. That could have been sketchy, Matt.
Yeah, don't forget about this second pack. You've still got Dallas Markle trying to work his way up through the field, closely following what would appear to be 99 Garrett Denton. He tries to go to the outside. Denton threw a little bit of a block there going into turn 1.
Yeah, he wasn't having anything of that. They might be back there, but working together right now, guys, probably wouldn't be such a bad idea to make it up there to the front of the pack with your front runners. Garrett Denton, though, holding on to his own right behind that National Guard vehicle of Vincent Vinny as they head off into the turn, and they pushing pretty hard. And that back pack, they're ducking and dodging each other. They're moving back and forth. They're not really working together too much to get up there. It's just a lot of names that we've talked about today. Dale Smalley being one of them. Mark Arthur, Vincent Vinny. Oh, we got a wreck, huge wreck, as they're spinning out behind him, and boom! My gosh, they are flipping upside down, Matt.
It looks like Berkey, Bruce R. Bouchard involved. See if we can't get a tag on a couple more of these cars or how this all started. Looks like there's going to be one more car involved. The 01 Jonathan Smith that finally decided to make his way towards the front involved. And looking at the replay I got pulled up here, the number 11 Bruce R. Bouchard getting into the 17 of Gordon Berkey, then getting caught up with the 01 of Jonathan Smith, just sent those 3 cars for a wild ride right in front of everybody else, collecting a couple other cars there in the back. We'll get you word on before this is over. And looks like the 28 going for another wild ride after getting into the 77 earlier in the race.
Yeah, and the number 77 of Jeff Cruz is in that backup car. Just could not get out of the way of the number 17 of Gordon Berkey as it came right back down into the track and slammed into that 77 car as he starts pillowing black smoke out of it. All of these cars are going to have to go to backups, and unfortunately for Jeff Cruz, he might not have a backup to go to, Matt.
Yeah, same thing with Brad Patterson. He, for the second time tonight, along with Cruz, are both Oh, it looks like Cruz might have got through there fine, actually, Ted. But the 28 Brad Patterson, that was the second time tonight he's taken a wild ride through the air, upside down, the e-ticket ride. He wants 2 tickets tonight, guys, and he's probably might go out there and get a third one for his friend.
Someone who ended up making it through that wreck just barely was Gordon Berkey's son, Colton Berkey, as he is currently sitting in the 3rd position we're reading right now the 3rd position as they head on down to the backstretch. Caution out on the speedway, lights on the pace car. Are they going to go down pit road, Matt?
At this point, they didn't pit under the last one. So I would come down, I'd want my fresh tires, maybe I ran over some debris and put the gas in the car that I need. It looks like Alan Larson's going to be your leader as of the yellow. Colton Berkey sitting second. So a little bit of an issue going on with our timing and scoring loops right now as they're coming around with pit road open as they come out of 4. We'll have to see what these drivers go ahead and do.
Yep, our leader, Alan Larson, coming down onto the pit road. Oh.
Yeah, so a few people coming down pitting.
Yep, cars came down onto pit road. Alan Larson, one of them, our leader, as he came down onto pit road and got fresh tires and some gas along with others. Colton Berkey being one of them, Kevin Vaughn, they all came down on the pit road, got gas, tires, and went out. 5-second stops for the majority of them as they're back down onto the racetrack. Cars out right now from 16th position down to 23rd, all a lap behind the leader or more. Jeff Cruz, our first one who's behind. We are under caution here at Michigan International Speedway. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Stick with us on the Sunday Money Series here on ETV Live.
Welcome viewers to Championship Online Racing Association's Sunday Money Series. Drivers must qualify in one of 3 qualifiers that run Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, finishing in the top 10 to make it into the Sunday Money Race. Each Sunday Money Race will feature 9 payout positions, meaning close to 1/3 of the drivers racing on Sunday will be going to the bank on Monday. The winner of each Sunday Money Race will receive $30. Second place pays $20, $15 for third, $10 for fourth, and $5 to fifth place. In addition to the top 5 finishing positions, Cora will also pay a $5 award to the fastest qualifier, giving them the Fast Cash Award. Prior to the start of qualifying for each Sunday Money Race, a number is drawn at random. The driver qualifying in that position will be awarded a $5 Easy Money Award. The same number will be used to pay a $5 bonus for the driver finishing in that same position in tonight's race. As is the way with Cora to encourage safe, clean racing, Cora will also be paying a $5 bonus for the highest finisher with the fewest incidents outside the top 5. In addition to our drivers racing for the Sunday Money, they are also vying for the coveted Cora Championship. Points will be tallied over the season with the top 5 receiving cash awards, the winner being crowned the Cora Sunday Money Champion. Every time a driver qualifies for a Sunday Money event, their name will go into a pool for a drawing to win a year's membership of iRacing Compliments of Cora, Championship Online Racing Association, the premier series in online racing. Sunday Money Series official sponsors are Dale Smalley Drywall, The Finish is What Counts, Bart, Competition Karting, and Berkey Painting and Sandblasting. Greens Automotive, celebrating 60 years of business. A first look at the all-new 2013 Chevy Malibu. A revolutionary new touch console puts all the information where you need it. Introducing the entirely new Ford Fusion, an entirely new idea of what a car can be.
Alright, back here, Cora Championship Online Racing Association in Michigan in the Indy Cars tonight. Qualifying 3 nights a week for a shot at the Sunday Monday Super Speedway Series, drivers pay an entry fee of $5. Then a percentage of the fees is up for grabs on Sunday night by the top 3 finishers. You can win a trip to the bank. Just visit them at coramk.ning.com. Or you guys can just search them. They're such a popular racing series. It's Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series you're here with tonight. Ted, and what a show it's been all night long.
Yeah, we were off to a good green flag run. Lights are off on the pace car as we're about to go green once again. But yeah, good green flag run. Then a couple of cautions. A great speech that I usually give was cautions breed cautions, and we ended up seeing that tonight. But pace car down onto pit road, green flag in the air. We are back to racing here, but off to a bad start is one of the cars, Matt.
Yeah, but off to a good start. That 44 McCarthy again, diving back down in low through turn 1-2, all the way down the apron.
Yeah, Ralph Shipman in that number 22 car, right on the restart. He, I don't know if he missed a shift there, or if he went down something, or forgot to press on the gas, because he fell back all the way from sitting in 4th place. He fell back with the other cars, and he's right now being looked at in 10th place. So he fell back a whole 9 positions because of that restart. But looking back up at the front, a new leader, Dale Smalley, someone we haven't really talked about all race tonight. He is up at the front. So we've had a lot of new names. Dale Smalley, Kevin McCarthy, Verlis Falcons, Kevin Vaughn, and Alan Larson all rounding out your top 5 here at Michigan as we're on lap 71, now lap 72 out of 125 laps.
Yeah, Smalley out front, winner and champion of your last season here with the Sunday Money Series. But right now, Alan Larson back in the pack a little bit, 4th place, getting help from Garrett Denton. And earlier we were talking about a 1 second difference between 1st and 10th place. Well, right now there's just a 1 second difference between 3rd and 4th. So a little bit of the field getting spread out as looks like Larson sends Kevin Vaughn out into the wall, and he collects another driver out on the track, but no caution yet.
Wow, that could have been very hairy. Kevin Vaughn getting a little bit loose and coming down into another car. He jumped over the front of that car, the number 4 Kevin Vaughn did, and he jumped into the front stretch, dirt and grass, held onto it, but now he spins out going into the turn, spins around into turn 1.
Yeah, and that car that he got into is 71 Vincent Vinny. Still no caution out. Vincent seeming to be okay with a little bit of damage, so he's off the pace, but he's staying high respectably for all these other drivers.
Yeah, it's always nice to see a car who knows when he's down and out for the count for the time being, and instead of just getting into the other cars and trying to race them, moves up and lets them go by as he regains speed. And now he is back up to speed, racing alongside on that upper side of who is that? Of another car. I think that's Mark Arthur in the number 10 car. And so he starts heading around. They'll cross the start-finish line. No caution out on the speedway, but that could have been very bad. But both cars held on to it. Another good example of how good these guys are at driving here in the Sunday Money Series.
McCarthy down, still in the lead. He does a little swerve. He's been doing this something we usually see at such a track like Indianapolis in these cars. Once he hits the backstretch, diving all the way down to the inside grass, making sure nobody gets that inside and run on him into turns 3 and 4. So McCarthy back out front, Smalley and the Verlis Falcons making his first appearance up here in the top 5. Because that wreck though, Ted, 2 second difference between 3rd and 4th place. So quite a gap we've got here for him now.
Yeah, definitely a huge gap between 3rd and 4th place. And looking back at 4th place is the number 24 car of Alan Larson. as he sits back there trying to regroup with a few others to push up there. One of those is the number 99 of Garen Denton, who earlier on in the race was up in the front battling for position, but as of about 20 or so laps ago, kind of just held on to it. Smoke coming out from one of the cars behind them. That looks like the number 77 of Jeff Cruz. But it looks like he was just tapping the brakes a little bit, and he's all right. So looking back, Garrett Denton, Alan Larson, James Brown, Jeff Cruz, Dallas Miracle, a bunch of big names back there in that secondary pack from about 4th place all the way back. 2-second lead from the top 3 cars from 4th place all the way back, and so right now it's a 3-car chase up in front and about a 10-car chase in the back.
Yeah, and we're here, and Jeff Cruz might be having some electrical issues. It looks like he might have got sorted out this lap as he continues to run in 7th place. Story of the night, again, still saying the 48 Dallas Markle, 1st place to down a lap, got in his new backup car with the same setup, all the way back into the top 10, looking to take over the 7th place position from Jeff Cruz now as they enter 1.
Yeah, he's up there in his backup car making a move on Jeff Cruz, trying to get up there. He has a very strong car, along with a lot of those other cars that are up there right now. Colton Berkey in 10th position, Mark Arthur in 9th. A big old clump of them all together back them as they touch. 2 of the cars touch. That's Dallas Miracle, and one other is 3 wide now, dumping down there. It's getting a little sketchy once again, Matt.
Yeah, trying to go down below the line, the 00 of James Brown, taking it cautious early on in the race. 45 laps to go after they complete this one, though. Ted, these drivers are starting to feel like it's go time. They got to start working their way towards the front.
Yeah, and one of those guys is Mark Arthur in that number 10 car, as he'll make it 3 wide, try to make it 3 wide, but jumps out of it. He thought that was a bad idea. Dallas Miracle jumping up to his top side there. But yeah, definitely one person who thinks it is go time is that Mark Arthur, as he tries to get past as many cars as possible to try to get up there to those lead cars. Someone who has fallen back, it looks like on our screen, who was in 3rd place is Verlis Falcons, who is now 2 seconds behind the top 2 cars. So I wonder what could have happened with him, Matt.
Well, that's just the draft working there, Ted. You got those 2 leaders drafting extremely well together, the 44 and 69. And so when you have the number 66, Verlis Falcons, just out by himself, he's going to start losing a lot of time.
Alan Larson and Mark Arthur make contact heading off of turn 4. Alan Larson spinning on the front stretch as they come out of 4 onto the front stretch. Mark Arthur making contact with him, and Alan Larson spinning like a pin top, going down into the grass, not taking out anybody with him, but he ducks down into the grass out of his 13th position in the field.
Yeah, and Ted, I don't think the race officials are at their buttons, because you know what? Are getting a late caution here, it looks like, actually, as it slowed down. So, under caution here, again tonight, most likely you're going to see all these drivers come down on pit road to get their final fuel and tires to make it the rest of the way from here.
Yeah, that late caution being thrown because Alan Larson just could not get his car back around moving straight as he was having difficulty in spinning his car around as he once again spins his car around. He has a couple of tires down on that machine from his spin through the grass, catching a lot of debris. Up front in the number 44, Kevin McCarthy in the lead still. Dale Smalley sitting in second. Verlis Falcons, Garrett Denton, Jeff Cruz rounding out your top 5. This caution is giving them all the chance to get on the same exact plan, as we'll see some of them probably head down onto pit road, and it bunches everybody back up, Matt. As we saw, the first two drivers, Kevin McCarthy, Dale Smalley, just absolutely pulling away 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds behind everybody else, the rest of the field. And so this caution will bunch everybody back up there, as Bruce Bouchard will most likely get our reach around as Kevin McCarthy, our leader, into the pits.
Yeah, coming down pit road, you'll have all your lead lap cars coming down this time. Watching a whole mess of cars come down. Gotta keep my eye on that Veritas Falcons. He's gotta hope to get out a couple positions ahead and get a better restart than last time.
And my eye is on the leader, Kevin McCarthy, as he decks down. We have contact on pit road, though. 2 cars hitting each other. The number 66, we're being told, made contact as they roped around. That's Verlis Falcons, the man that our boy Matt Close was looking at. But the 99 of Garrett Denton making a very quick stop, and he's out. Surprisingly, our leader, Kevin McCarthy, in that number 44, came out in 4th place. So very interesting pit tactics these boys made, Matt.
Yeah, the 66 lost a ton of spots there as he got bumped through his pit stall. We're hearing the fastest pit stop down on pit road was 3.3 seconds, blazing fast. Blazing fast. That was done by the pit crew, the 99, Garrett Denton, a 3.3 second pit stop. Ted, now that's just amazingly fast.
That is absolutely fast. You gotta wonder what they gave their crew for breakfast. But right now we're under caution here at Michigan International Speedway, and this is a great time to talk about some of the guys that make it happen here on ETV Live. One in particular, the HD Radio Network, which is the home of ETV Live Radio. The HD Radio Network gives you a variety of stations to choose from, including big 80s metal, all HDR classics, all HDR country, and more. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. HD Radio Network stations are featured on iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, and also listed in the Windows Media Guide. Listen today from hdradionetwork.com or take it with you. Get the mobile app from tunein.com.
Yeah, also helping us out tonight, you have The Hammer with Mark Bratcher and Greg McKinney. Wednesdays, 9:30 p.m. on ETV Live Radio. It's underground and over-the-top door slam and bumper banging. Wicked Loose and 3 Wide join Mark and Greg for a Slideways wall banging, no holds barred radio show about racing every which way but loose. The Hammer Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. ETV Live Radio, powered by the HD Radio Network.
And of course, we can't be watching sim racing without talking about Inside Sim Racing, which is sponsoring the Thursday night Real Sim Racing series, Inside Sim Racing, your first and best choice for all news and reviews in online sports. Join Darren Ganji and Sean Cole for the latest and greatest in product reviews, simulation auto racing games for PCs and the Xbox crowd. From steering wheels to full-size racing rigs, updates on popular racing games, and a whole lot more. The yellow pages of online auto racing. Inside Sim Racing has it all. Visit them at www.isrtv.com.
Yeah, and these sim racers out here tonight using the latest and greatest technology. You got Derek Spears Designs help us out with our Thursday series and all the time with top shelf simulation racing components, pedals, shifters, button boxes, whatever you need to get your racing done the best and getting you winning those trophies. It's all reasonably priced and the gear is tougher than bullets can take, boot stomping strong. You can get this gear at DerekSpearDesign.com.
And of course, our race tonight brought to you by Cora, the Championship Online Racing Association, qualifying 3 nights a week for a shot at the Sunday Money Super Speedway Series. Drivers pay an entry fee of $5, then a percentage of the fees is up for grabs on Sunday night by the top 3 finishers. Win a trip to the bank. Visit them at coracmk.ning.com.
Back on the track, Michael D'Amico, it looks like, going to be taking you to the green flag. His first time leading all night long. Garrett Denton going to be up there in second on the high side, followed by the 48 Dallas Markle looking to grab the win.
And that win is not too far away. We're on lap 86 out of 125 laps. Michael D'Amico, who it turns out may not have taken a pit, and if he did, it was very, very small because 99 Garrett Denton was the first one out of the pit. So we're looking at Michael D'Amico, the number 62, who will be our leader coming to this line, may have not taken a pit, and that might affect him on this restart. Actually, might 100% affect him on this restart, with the majority of the guys behind him on fresh tires and fuel. And so that'll be interesting to see when we see the green flag, Matt.
Not only that, he's been a little bit off the pace and back in the pack. So like I said, first time up front tonight. Plus, he must have pitted the last caution. And you don't get that kind of fuel mileage. I don't care what you're in. You can be in one of those new Priuses. He's not making it to the end. Where all these other guys, most likely, if they can stick in the draft and work with each other, they're going to make it to the end.
Yeah, and with that trouble, he might not be able to stay up there. Maybe he's trying to hope for a wreck as the pace car drops down. And we'll find out right now as green flag goes out on the speedway. Immediately, our leader, Michael D'Amico, drops back to 4th place and might drop back a little bit sooner. Garrett Denton, that number 99, taking the lead as Michael D'Amico in that number 62 car still keeps on falling back. Jeff Cruz right behind him, along with Kevin McCarthy, who has been the leader for the majority of the day.
Falcons losing a lot of spots on that last pit stop, working his way strong up here quickly to the front, making 3 wide passes through the back of the field. As it looks like they'll dominate him a little, coming off 4 and even back out as he's coming to the flat.
Yeah, as they come down to the flat, Michael D'Amico just trying to hold on as long as possible to his car, but he comes on strong on into the turn, and he holds on to it as he's right behind Garrett Denton, who is our leader in that number 99. Dallas Miracle in the number 48 up top, being pushed by Dale Smalley in the number 69 rather, as they head off into turn 3 and 4 as whoa, they almost touched Garrett Denton and Dallas Miracle coming off a 4 into the tri-oval.
McCarthy in his patriotic paint scheme trying to work his way back up to the front. Hasn't had to deal with a lot of traffic all night long, so a new scene for him for a long time as he's just wanting to get up there. As he touches the 62, he's up into the wall. It spins the 69 Dale Somali. That's going to bring out another caution tonight.
And the 69 of Dale Smalley is up and around on the backstretch as he was ended up getting touched and spinning around. We're going to review this real quick as we turn around and look to see exactly what happened. Coming out of turn 2, it looks like the number 69 got contact from Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy up into the wall, jumped down into the number 69 of Dale Smalley, and both of them ended up bouncing back. Kevin McCarthy bound against the wall, and oh my goodness, a lot of damage to a couple cars, some cars even airborne, as ramping off the front of the number 69 of Dale Smalley is the number 17, it looks like, of Gordon Berkey as he goes flying.
Yeah, Berkey going for the e-ticket ride, taking his turn. And that's another dizzy one. I don't know if I can keep watching that. But he gets hung up on the infield fence when he finally lands down there on the track.
Yeah, everybody just went flying away from him, or away from the top, trying to get away, and just Gordon Berkey had nowhere to go, flipping, I can count 89, or something along that line. It looks like he flipped at least 200 times. He took quite a ride going down that backstretch as his car just comes into a stop in the pit row as the tow truck comes around to grab him and bring him. It looks like he might go behind the wall.
Yeah, checking out the slow-mo for Gordon Berkey. Just so many times that car went over. Hopefully he's okay on the other end there. But all these cars under caution, staying out after they just came down. It looks like your first car to get the wave around may be Alan Larson.
And Matt, my infamous line, cautions breed cautions, have come into play here once again at Michigan International Speedway. That saying can go anywhere. Talladega, Daytona, and as we have just seen, Michigan International Speedway, as we had a good opening green flag run here. But now we've just happened to see caution out of caution as everybody's just... The third is thinning. The third is definitely thinning here, Matt.
Ted, actually, we missed this. Back on that last restart, there was lost a little bit of trouble. If you look all the way towards the back of the field, Gloy, who had just gotten finally being only one lap down, put himself in a lucky dog position. He goes for a nice run on the outside on this restart, and he just ran right into the number 11 of Bruce R. Bouchard. That put him another 2 laps down. So 4 laps down, the only spots he's going to pick up tonight are these guys who aren't going to be able to finish the race. unfortunate for the number 27.
Yeah, Mark Loy in that number 27 in 21st place right now, looking 4 laps down. Another car who has taken it behind the wall earlier on, about a few laps ago, was Gary Bauer in that number 18 car. He's 29 laps down right now. And so a lot of these cars just taking a lot of heavy hits tonight. A lot of people having to go to backup cars, and just like we saw at Talladega, we're not having a lot of people left. At Talladega, we had only 7 cars on the lead lap by the end of the race, and tonight we only have 14 cars on the lead lap, with Dale Smalley in that number 69 in 14th place, 20 seconds now, 10 seconds behind the leader as he catches up here as we are on caution at Michigan International Speedway. Under caution at Michigan International Speedway, we're going to go away to commercial real quick, but stay with us as we're on lap 92 out of 125 laps here on Cora, the Championship Online Racing Association. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Plus other listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
Back live with the Cora Championship Online Racing Association. Dallas Markle working his way back out front as the lights are off. They're double file and ready to go back racing. Hopefully seamless till the end this time, Ted.
Yeah, for once, I'm hoping that my statement doesn't ring true anymore, because as we got pointed out to earlier by our producer Laura, is that we got past the halfway mark in about 30 minutes at the beginning of this race, and now it's taken us about 45 minutes to get through a quarter of that. So with all these cautions, time has really not been on our side as we're reaching the mark of 9:30 p.m. here on the East Coast. But we are on lap 93 out of 125 laps, so we are winding down here. The pace car drops down onto pit road. The flag will be in the air any minute now. As the flag jumps in the air, we are back to green flag racing here. Dallas Miracle and Garrett Denton, both in the 48.99, get a huge jump on the lead as they race ahead into one.
Racing down into one, 2 cars with a huge jump. Following behind them, Michael D'Amico still holding strong, but probably not able to make to the end on gas. Jeff Cruz to the outside of him coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, and as they head down the backstretch, I mean, like 94 laps out of 125, these guys got to be telling themselves that they still have a little bit more time. We've seen plenty of guys come up from 8th place all the way to racing for the lead in less than 2 laps, and so they have about 30-something to go here, and they can't be pissing it all away right here with 20-something laps left. You know what I mean? So they have a little bit while to go. But so they should just keep weary of what's happening around them, but don't start acting crazy like they've been doing. But right now we're pretty good by single file line and kind of trying to prevent another big one from happening. But all the action is in the back, because right now Dallas Miracle and that number 48 and the number 99 of Garrett Denton are pulling away.
Yeah, I'll tell you one person who doesn't want another wreck is Brad Patterson in 8th place, number 28 Havoline Machine tonight. It's gone through the air twice already, one more time and he's all done. He's got that little red sticking out from his car. That tells us that he's a rookie driver here on iRacing. So he has some experience in these cars, obviously, with how well he's doing tonight and working his way through these leagues.
And when you mention that he has some experience, that can't be more closer to the truth, because he's right now sitting in 8th position in his number 28 Havoline Machine. And like you said, he's been through the air twice tonight. And yes, one more will put him through, but that's just Lady Luck is going to have to be on his side, because we've seen so many cars be collected in wrecks that they weren't even a part of and that they were really far back from. Like we saw in this last caution, Gordon Berkey flipping about 200 times down the backstretch. He was about 2 seconds behind the wreck that happened as a car comes screaming down into pit road, Matt.
Yeah, cars going to start coming down pit road if they need the gas. 40 laps is really cutting it close here for these guys. So as we try and figure out who that was, probably getting a little loose out of 4 actually.
It was the number 4 car of Kevin Vaughn. He was in 17th place at the time when he came down onto pit road, screaming onto pit road. But all of a sudden we saw a bunch of parts start flying off, so he has come down and gone behind the wall. Another car to go behind the wall. He was 5 laps down, someone we talked about earlier. That number 27 of Mark Gloy has come down and gone behind the wall, along with the number 10 of Mark Arthur. So a lot of these guys' cars, their backup cars, are taking hits now, and they're starting to fall apart, and as sadly their days are ending. So so time is of the essence now. Time is winding down. We are right now 26 laps from the finish. We are about to be 25 laps from the finish, as we are on lap 100 of 125. Dallas Miracle sitting in first place. Garrett Denton right behind him. Then Jeff Cruz, Michael D'Amico, James Brown, your top 5. A car that we've been talking about. Jeff Cruz has had his share of faulty happenings throughout today, Matt, and he looks up there as he is trying to go for second position right now.
Yeah, I'm looking back here. Jonathan Smith did safe for the first half of this race. Tried to work his way forward, got wrecked, now working his way forward again as he's trying to catch up to Brad Patterson. But a little bit of word again on Kevin Vaughn, Mark Lloyd. Teammates, hearing that they said they were both down and out for the rest of this race. They're going to pack up early and move on, try and catch a few side races on their way towards next week.
And a couple of names that we can talk about here is that number 28 of Brad Patterson back there in a 4-car pack, along with the number 81 of Colton Berkey, Alan Staring in his number 14 car, as well as James Brown. He's back there as well. So all 4 of these drivers racing really hard. This is a good race back here in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th positions, as James Brown in that number 00 car is pushing hard, trying to catch up with the number 28 of Brad Patterson, Colton Berkey, and the number 14 of Alan Starring, as they head along into turn 3 and 4 to head onto the front stretch.
Yeah, it looks like they're almost tangling for the lead. 99 pushing the 48 back to 77, Jeff Cruz. They're kind of working together here, and they have been for a while. Let's see if they can keep this up till the end, as they almost wreck coming down the front stretch.
Yep, time is of the essence now as laps are winding down. Our leader, Jeff Cruz, in that number 77, being worked all over the rear bumper by Garrett Denton and Dallas Miracle as they go side by side. Will they split them? They touch once again. Dallas Miracle now jumping up, though, and losing the draft of Garrett Denton as the number 99 touched the number 48 of Dallas Miracle, and that could have been pretty bad, Matt.
Yeah, definitely not a good scene there. Cruz now in the lead, followed by Dunn, and James Brown worked his way up in the 4th, leading that second pack as they're trying to catch the leaders. Michael D'Amico kind of out in his own little space right now without a partner, and he will be engulfed with a whole load of cars coming up quick.
Yeah, a whole mess of cars are moving their way up, with being led by the 00 of James Brown, Colton Berkey right behind him, Brad Patterson and Jonathan Smith, all working their way up to the front cars, the leaders. So something that we've seen though, Matt, in a couple of the races that we broadcast together here for Cora, is that whenever these cars start, and I mean this goes for any races, when these cars up front start battling each other for the lead, that starts opening up the time for the cars behind them, and they start pushing very fast and hard to catch up with them, and that we very might well see a huge pack of cars racing for the lead by the time that this is over. But up front, Jeff Cruz, Garrett Denton, and Dallas Miracle all have at least a 2-second lead on James Brown, that number's in that 00 car in 5th place right now.
Oh, and another car hard around in turn 2 to bring out another caution tonight. I believe it's the 81, Colton Berkey, sent Brown backwards into the wall after some contact that he had with, let's see if we can't get that, the 01. And that's going to be the 01 Jonathan Smith, sending him around backwards into the wall. Not collecting any other drivers who are going to bring out another caution before the end of the race tonight.
Yeah, another caution out on the speedway as the number 81 of Colton Berkey was trying to make his way around on the top side. He got hit by the number 01 of Jonathan Smith as they came out of the corner on the backstretch. He almost held onto it for a second, but spun around hard into the outside wall, then hit his back again as he spun down the backstretch. But all the cars were able to avoid him, and he was able to get down onto the apron without causing further incident, which is pretty good considering what we've seen tonight. Cars flipping down the backstretch or the front stretch or into the corners. So just a little bit of a hiccup for Colton Berkey as he has to go to a backup car. Significant damage to his vehicle, Matt.
Yeah, Ted. We're going to step away for the final time tonight before we bring you all the way to the checkered flag. So you got 14 and 15 laps to go. When we come back green, we'll bring you back to the racing action in just a moment.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Back live here we are ready to go with about 15 laps to go here in the Cora Racing Series, 16 to go right now. And we're hearing it's 2 to green, so we'll get you back here going with 15 laps to go on the board. Jeff Cruz out front, followed by Garrett Denton, Dallas Markle, Michael D'Amico still holding strong, Brad Patterson rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, lights are still out on the pace car as they will go around at least one more time here at Michigan International Speedway. We're on lap 109 out of 125. The laps are winding down, Matt. Jeff Cruz, who is currently sitting in first place with Garrett Denton, Dallas Miracle, all three of those cars have been very fast today. Jeff Cruz has been down and out several times, and so this is bittersweet probably for him to be sitting up there in the first place position, as we will go to green flag probably next time by. David Wink, he's getting told to go around. He has been waved around the pace car, so he will go around and hop back onto the lead lap there, Matt.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride to the finish here, Ted, as these cars just dicing it up since we got to the halfway point and not really able to get a couple of green flags runs here. So I expect at least one more caution here before we get to the end.
Yeah. I mean, you think it was wild when there was only 25 laps left. Wait till things start dicing up when there's only about 10 laps left. And so we're definitely probably going to see another caution as the night wears on and we're almost over with this race. Lights are off on the pace car. We'll be going around one more time, and we'll be underway once again, maybe even for the last time here at Michigan International Speedway.
Yeah, and definitely when we go green, hopefully for the last time here, they'll be able to make the run all the way to the end. Just keep an eye on the laps, guys. Once we get to about lap 122, even if a caution flies, that's going to be the end of the race. They'll continue to finish the amount of laps, but they'll never hit the green again. So definitely either they got to wreck here in the first 9 laps, Ted, or they're going to have to try and make it to the end. That's just the game, the way that this series is going to work.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, as Jim Carrey would say. So, lights are off on the pace car. We're about to go back to green, and we'll see exactly what Jeff Cruz has in his number 77 car and what Garrett Denton might try to do in his number 99 car. One thing's for sure, Matt, it's going to be one hell of a ride, as laps will begin to wind down very quickly as these cars scream around this speedway at 220 miles an hour.
Yeah, and definitely there could be some mistakes on this restart with drivers being so anxious to go running into each other, causing a lot of problems earlier on in the race, but definitely coming down to these closing laps going to get a lot worse.
Yeah, as that pace car takes that hard left turn down onto the pit road, the flag man has the flag in the air. He raises it and drops it, and we're back to racing here at Michigan International Speedway. Garrett Denton, the number 99, will be red as the leader going in as he gets a huge run on the outside of Jeff Cruz heading into 1.
Yeah, Denton out front getting that jump. It looks like Cruz is going to go right back on by on the backstretch, followed by Dallas Markle. I believe race officials told him he had to give that position back because of the jump that he took coming to the line.
Yeah, that was a huge jump as he moved up, but he moves back to third place. Jeff Cruz still holding on to the lead. Dallas Miracle in the number 48 right behind him, pushing down the front stretch as they head off into 1. 112 laps are completed here out of 125 laps. Laps are winding down as the finish is in sight, Matt.
Yeah, still out there right now, keeping my eye on that 62, Michael D'Amico. Don't know if he can make it on gas. He is trying to stretch it all the way out as far as it will go. So we'll have to see how he's going to make it to the end here tonight. Just looking up front and through the field, single file all the way back. We got one car in the grass in the back of the field, just ahead. I believe it was Vincent Vinny coming off of turn 4.
And he jumped right back up onto the track, lost a little bit of ground, but did not spin out, so he held on to it. Green flag racing still as they head off onto the backstretch. Up front, Dallas Miracle and that number 48 all over the rear bumper of the number 77 of Jeff Cruz, trying to find any which way around him possible to take the lead. Maybe he's even trying to find that sweet spot that he can take with 1 lap to go to grab the lead in the win as they head off into the tri-oval, completing another lap and into 1.
All the way into 1, 3 cars battling for the lead, and then single file along back. 4th place, Michael Domingo leading that line, followed by Alan Starring, Brad Patterson, Kevin McCarthy trying to make a few passes here to get back to the front.
And they head off into 3, heading off into 4 as well as they come around once again. Things are starting to heat up here at Michigan International Speedway. Jeff Cruz still looking in the lead. Garrett Denton trying to find the right time to make a move, and that right time is certainly coming up as we only have 10 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway, Matt.
Yeah, as they're coming around halfway through lap 115, taking this time by, they'll take the 10 to go mark, where Jeff Cruz will be in the lead. Coming to a caution now would just be devastating for some of these drivers and be like grace for others, such as Kevin McCarthy, who led so many laps here tonight, got back into traffic, and his car just doesn't handle the same for him when he's in the draft.
Yeah, and so like you said, it will be hell for some, heaven for most, as these 3 cars, Jeff Cruz, Dallas Miracle, and Garrett Denton, have basically run away from the lead pack. The next car behind them, that number 62, is Michael D'Amico, being pushed by Alan Starrin, that number 14, but they're going to have to make up a lot of ground, especially with the slow car that Michael D'Amico has been suffering with all race long. Looking up at the front, Garrett Denton trying to make a run on Dallas Miracle, but it doesn't look like he can make it happen. He is pushing very hard going into the corner, and all this is doing is opening up more ground and more air for the number 77 of Jeff Cruz. As they touch a little bit, Dallas Miracle and Garrett Denton, and Denton drops right back in line in 3rd place. That was close, Matt.
Definitely a close call. Miracle trying to use that high line a little bit to give him that run down the straightaways, but Cruz so great at blocking the low line. Denton just not able to hold his car down there on the bottom anymore. He's got a couple handling issues going on with that 99.
Yeah, and so right now he's just kind of asking himself what he can possibly do with this car to get to the front. He's tried to make a couple of moves on Dallas Miracle all race long and trying to get up in that front position, but he just has not been able to do it. Either it's because Jeff Cruz and Dallas Miracle just have too tough and strong of cars, or the handling issues are coming into play, Matt. So that's something to look for as the laps are winding down here at Michigan International Speedway. We are very close to the finish here, folks, as we will have 7 laps remaining here at Michigan International Speedway as we head off into turn 1 and 2 and onto the backstretch.
Yeah, down onto the backstretch, lap 119 of 125. As they come around and complete this lap, they'll have 6 to go, and in these next couple laps, if they're going to have a caution, they're going to have one. But other than that, Ted, they've got what they got until the end. There's not going to be too many changes because nobody's going to need to pit under these yellows here.
I was about to say, when we hit about 3 laps to go, I mean, if there's a caution after that, then whoever's leading the race might as well be our winner, because we probably will not go back to green after that. So right now, these drivers are just sitting in their cockpit wondering what's going to happen in these next couple of laps. Dallas Miracle is probably trying to talk to himself, figure out some way around Jeff Cruz, and Jeff Cruz is just holding on for dear life as we come around onto the front stretch and past the start-finish line. 5 to go here at Michigan International Speedway.
5 to go. Miracle looking for a way to round. He's going to need Denton's help to do it. There's no other way at this point unless he can get a great drive off the bottom of the turn here. See, every time he goes low, that 77's just mirror driving for all it's worth.
And mirror driving is so far working out for him as he's still out in front in that first position in his number 77. Dallas Miracle dicing back and forth, trying to find which way he can possibly take to get around him. But Jeff Cruz in that 77 has a very fast car as they dive down on that apron. And oh my gosh, Dallas Miracle tapped his nose onto the tire of Jeff Cruz, almost got loose, but he held on to it as they head off onto the backstretch. Time is winding down and time is running out here, Matt, as we have 4 laps to go this time by.
And I heard all the way from the back, D'Amico said it's out. He ran out of gas. He's not going to make it to the end as Cruz comes 3 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway, the Cora Racing Series. 3 cars in the battle for the lead. Everybody else 2 seconds back, single file. But right now you got a couple lap cars coming up. They're working their way around.
Dallas Miracle tried to make another run on leader Jeff Cruz, but hit his nose once again. There is damage to the front bumper of Dallas Miracle's car as he almost spun it but held on to it. Jeff Cruz now with an outstanding lead on Dallas Miracle and Garrett Denton as he passes the start-finish line once again. 2 laps remaining here at Michigan International Speedway.
On board with the damage on that 48 machine is if caution flies at this point with 2 to go, it's going to be the end of this race as Dallas Miracle is going to have 1 last lap as they exit turn 4 to get it done, Ted. He's got to do it in these next 33 seconds it's taking him to get around the track.
1 lap to go here at Michigan International Speedway. Dallas Miracle in second place, making a run to the outside of our leader, Jeff Cruz, in that number 77. He has damage to the front bumper of his car, but can he make it around? He's going to need all the help he can get from Garrett Denton. He makes a run to the outside as they head off into 3 and 4. Matt, take us to the finish.
He's going to have to pinch him down through 3 and 4. Denton back to the inside, helping the 77 as they almost touch, coming out of 4. He dives to the inside. He's on the apron in the dirt, and the dirt's actually going to slow him down. The 77 with Jeff Cruz is going to take the checkered flag tonight. Dallas Miracle finishing second, and Garrett Denton trapped all the way back in the 3rd position.
What a hell of a finish that was here for the Championship Online Racing Association here at Michigan International Speedway for their Sunday Money Series. Jeff Cruz running away with the win. Dallas Miracle coming in 2nd place with Garrett Denton right behind him. Alan Starring in 4th place. And Brad Patterson rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, guys, as Cruz comes on back to the line, let's see if he goes to burn off the rest of those tires here tonight. As he does, lighten him up on the front stretch. The 77 of Jeff Cruz, happy to get his first win here this season with the Cora Online Racing Association, taking home. We'll be right back here on ETV Live as we take a moment to round up these drivers for our post-race show here with the Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series. Alright guys, live here in the winner's circle here tonight with 3 drivers. Ted, I believe, is caught on with our 3rd place driver here tonight, Garrett Denton.
Hey, Garrett Denton, this is Ted Manning up in the ETV Live booth. You got me, bud?
Yep.
Hey, man, coming down with that last lap, did you think you would be able to make it up there to first place and compete for the win, or were you just holding back and trying to help out Dallas Miracle there?
I was waiting to see what Dallas was going to do on that last lap to make my move, and he went up to the outside and they started to get together a little bit, but couldn't quite get the run on him that I wanted.
all race long you had been up there in the front, dropping back a little bit earlier on. Was earlier on in the race when you were dropping back, were you doing that to conserve your spot as people were wrecking all around, or what was your strategy there?
I was trying to stay out of the wrecks in the beginning. It helps out a lot knowing how the other drivers are around you, because when you go back in front from the back, you get to see how everyone else is driving, and it helped out for the end.
Well, thank you very much, Garrett. You did a great job with that top 3 finish, sitting in 3rd place, .193 behind the leader at the end there. Who makes it happen for you? What are your sponsors? Who do you want to thank?
I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Twisty Motorsports, Marone's Auto, Extreme Complex, and all my fans.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Congratulations on your top 3 finish, Garrett. Matt, take it away.
Yeah, guys, here tonight alongside Dallas Markle, who's once again found himself up here in the top 3, coming off a win last week to a 2nd place finish this week. What were you thinking coming in those final 10 laps of him being in 2nd place?
I was just hoping to stay up there with them, because the run before I had lost the draft and they were starting to pull away, so I was just trying to stay up there with them, and I was hoping to make a move on the outside in the last lap, but we touched tires and it slowed me down enough that he was able to stay out front.
You made a journey all the way from a lap down to be back up there after wrecking. Can you tell us a little bit about what your plan, how you got your way through those 20 drivers back up to the front of the field?
Well, I managed to get the lucky dog, and then we had a caution, and I managed to gain a lot of spots in the pits. I took less fuel than everybody else, I think, and that got me up to 3rd, and I was able to stay there till the end.
And is there anybody that helped you out this week to make you really get up there, and who got it done for you?
I'd just like to thank my teammates at Beaver Motorsports, and I'd like to thank Cora for putting this all on.
Alright guys, that's your 2nd place finisher tonight. Congratulations, Dallas Markle, for getting it done in that number 48 machine, as Ted's headed over to the winner's circle to catch up with your 1st place finisher in the number 77 car.
I am down here in victory lane with the number 77 car of Jeff Cruz, today's winner here at Michigan International Speedway. First question I have to ask you, Jeff, how does it feel to win tonight at Michigan? It seems Jeff is away celebrating with his crew. He's overly excited. We're going to try to get him over here and see if we can interview him or not. Hey, Jeff, how about you come over here? You got us?
Hey, you got me here.
Hey, Jeff, congratulations on the win here at Michigan. You're all very excited. Your crew's jumping up and down. We're down here in Victory Circle. How was it leading that last lap with Dallas Markle right behind you?
I tell you, I wasn't looking forward. Dallas is pretty fast.
And all race long, we were noticing your car was back and forth, up and down the field, some hiccups here and now and then, but in the end, you were up there at the front. What was your mindset going in these last 10 laps, sitting up there towards the front?
I had a pretty good chance. If I hit my marks and stood my line, they weren't going to get around me on the outside. They were going to have to tee them up. One-on-one, I don't think they would have got me.
Well, you did a fantastic job of taking the win here at Michigan. Who did it for you? What are the guys that you'd like to thank out there watching tonight?
Well, first of all, Cora. This is pretty cool stuff. But Alan Larson got me into this. He seen me in a practice race and hooked me up with the website and everything. So pretty much ultimately, Alan's got that.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the win here at Michigan International Speedway. We hope to see you next week. Congratulations, Jeff.
Thanks, guys.
Matt, they're celebrating down here in Victory Lane with a win here at Michigan International Speedway. How's things up there in the booth, Matt?
And still watching this exciting finish where Dallas is going through the grass almost pretty much to get by the 77. Ted, like an exciting race all night long. We had our little green flag stint at the beginning, which is always needed to get the people sorted out for where they need to be in skill-wise. Ted, how did you like the race down there where you were?
It was absolutely fantastic. This was an absolutely fantastic race. I thought everybody towards the end when you could say the crowd thinned after all those wrecks, when it really got down to the nitty gritty and they started hitting 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go. I really thought there was going to be another caution, Matt, but these guys really held it together and gave one hell of a finish for the viewers out there watching ETV.
Yeah, definitely exciting show they put on tonight with the Cora Championship Online Racing Association. Guys, we're gonna head out tonight after such an exciting show. Matt Close, it's me, and Ted Manning up in the booth tonight. Laura down on the camera buttons, making all that magic for you, and couldn't do it without executive producer J.D. Webb giving us the stats behind it all. So see you next week here, Sunday night, new start time, 8 p.m. Eastern with the Cora Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series.